Birmingham City are on the verge of losing a £10 million talent without receiving a single penny in return. And that harsh reality is now staring every supporter at St Andrews in the face. As Tommy Doyle's return to Wolverhampton Wanderers looks inevitable, the 24-year-old midfielder arrived as one of the marquee signings of the season, seen as a key piece in a promotion push, with a mandatory £10 million purchase clause tied directly to reaching the Premier League. But with Birmingham sitting 11th and 10 points off the playoffs with just 7 matches remaining, that dream has faded, along with any realistic chance of keeping one of the most technically gifted players in the squad. Instead, he now looks set to strengthen a direct rival in next season's championship. The project did not collapse overnight. It faded gradually, match by match, until the defeat at Pride Park delivered the decisive blow, leaving Chris Davies fighting for his job after a 4th loss in 6 games. The contrast between expectations and reality makes the situation even more frustrating. Doyle was meant to be the player who drove promotion, yet he has often been reduced to a rotational option, rarely completing a full match since January. The numbers explain why continuity never took hold. Of his 34 championship appearances, only 18 came as a starter, and since late January, he has struggled to play full matches consistently. That raises serious questions about how a player with England youth international experience and under contract with Wolves until 2030 was so underused at Birmingham. Instead of building the midfield around him, he became a secondary figure in a system that never fully maximised his qualities. The statistics are clear. This is not bad luck, it is inefficiency. A team expected to score 54 goals based on the chances created has managed only 48, highlighting a lack of clinical edge when it matters most. Doyle's departure represents a major boost for Rob Edwards' Wolverhampton side. With Wolves potentially facing relegation from the Premier League and the likely departure of players such as João Gomes and Andre, Doyle could return as a central figure at Molyneux for the 2026-27 campaign. For Birmingham, the irony is difficult to ignore. They have developed and maintained the form of a player who could now help a rival achieve what they could not: compete at the top of the table using the experience Doyle has built across 86 matches in this division. Defensively, the picture is just as concerning. An expected goals against figure of 38.8 suggests a level of control, but 47 goals conceded tells a different story, one of costly errors and defensive lapses that Davies has been unable to resolve. For Knighthead, after significant investment, this creates a major decision point regarding the manager's future. There remains a theoretical possibility that Birmingham could attempt to negotiate a new deal to retain Doyle, but the £10 million figure now feels unrealistic for a club that has not met its promotion targets. This raises deeper questions about Davies' management, whether the midfielder was used correctly, and what that says about the squad planning moving forward. The situation leaves a sense that the club is moving backwards while rivals strengthen themselves with players who pass through St Andrews without ever making the impact expected. 7 matches remain after the international break, and they may define everything. If the team does not find a clinical edge, the ownership group that backed Davies so heavily may be forced to act, because repeated patterns of underperformance rarely go unpunished at this level. Blue supporters, the key question now is simple. Do you believe the responsibility for Tommy Doyle's limited impact lies with the player himself, or with Chris Davies for not using him effectively? And should the club try to negotiate a lower fee to keep him, or accept the situation and focus on rebuilding for next season?